Cool. You're right, Stuart.
Right, so we're going live by looks of it. So good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time it is in your part of the world. For me, I'm in Perth time, Hong Kong Perth time, so it's 1 p.m. just gone. And we've got a very, very interesting panel discussion with some beautiful guests. And I'd like the guests to just take a moment to introduce myself. Just keep it to less than a minute, and then we can find out more about you as we talk. So let's start with who's on my left, which is Anick.
All right, the icebreaker. Hello, everyone. I'm Anick Patry, Unique Anick. I'm in Australia. I'm a French-Canadian lady. I'm an intuitive business mentor, a retreat facilitator. I'm a sound and voice healer and a TEDx speaker and a lot of things, international best-selling author. I've got all these hats. And I'm really excited to talk about the business energetics today. It's a really, really important piece. It's at the core of everything, really. So thanks for having me here with you guys. Yeah, so fun.
Yep, that's great to hear. And I'm sure you're going to contribute some beautiful thoughts and information for everybody, just like Charlotte. Charlotte, could you just take a moment to introduce yourself, please, as well?
Yes, certainly. So I'm Charlotte Mitchell, and I am a medical herbalist, Western herbalist, also a Chinese herbalist, and an energy healer. And I work a lot with people's personal energy, but also with the energy of businesses. So yes, it is a very interesting topic and an important topic.
Yeah, thank you. And where are you coming from today?
I'm in Sydney.
In Sydney. Okay, great stuff. And then we've got Nicol.
Oh, hi everyone, and thanks Stuart for the lovely introduction. Hi, Anick and Charlotte. It's great to be here with you. So I'm Nicol Heard, and my business Be Into It business coaching. And I empower fearless and visionary intuitive business owners to unleash their business potential through making lasting impact using their unique gifts, talents, and abilities and life experiences. And together we cultivate growth and foster strong communities and establish solid intuitive structures together that support their business success.
Okay, great stuff. And you're also coming from Australia?
I'm coming from Torquay, down on the Great Ocean Road in Victoria.
Okay, great stuff. When you said Torquay, I thought of Torquay in the UK.
No, Torquay in Victoria, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit higher on the world map than you three. I'm in the south of China. So the time zone's basically the same as Perth, but we're in winter and you're in summer, so you enjoy. So let's get started with the first question. I mean, what is business energetics and how do you define it and its importance in today's landscape, business landscape? Who would like to go first on that one? Okay, go for it.
Well, I was looking at the questions and I really stepped into what is business energetics, because it could be defined as many things to different people. But to me, it's the relationships we create within our business. And what I mean by that is the relationship that I have with my business and what it reciprocates to me, and also what other people, the relationship other people have with my business and how it serves them. And how my business helps the universe, basically. So it's everything, it's an energy to be nurtured and nourished.
Yeah, and I would also suggest what energy our business transmits out to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so repels them as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's how we, and the energy that how it takes responsibility for itself in today's world as well.
I mean, when I think of an energy of a business, if I walk past a bakery and I smell fresh bread, that smell is a very, very attractive smell. And we have the same type of thing with energy, don't we? We can walk past a shop or something and we can say, no, I don't want to go in there. There's something bad about it. Or something just sort of almost takes you by the shoulder and just drags you in as you're walking past.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important that what the energy that the business also gives us as business owners, because if we're not receiving what we need from it and the energies we need to be supported, then it's not the energy that we need to be in.
Okay, great stuff. Anick, do you have anything to add on that?
Well, I really resonate. I had the same. I mean, everything is relationships, right? And yeah, as you said, Stuart, you walk in front of the bakery, it smells good, sure. It's the same thing as most of us in the Sacred You community are solo entrepreneurs. Most of us have one-woman show, or we have a virtual assistant, but it's quite small businesses. But it's really about the energy, like to become magnetic by according to how we feel about our business, about ourselves. It's the energy we emanate and the level of love and passion we have for the services that we're delivering, that we're offering. So all of that is energy. It's if we're struggling and we're if we have hesitations and we have discomforts around it and there's resistance, people can feel it. So it's really about the embodiment of becoming magnetic, like the bakery. If it's clean and the bread is fresh, but some bakeries, it's horrible. There might be rats or cockroaches in the kitchen. You go and see in the back end what's really going on. And it's not so magnetic, you know what I mean?
So, yeah, I mean, that reminds me of when I went to Greece when I was younger. I went to an island called Thasos, and we went to the restaurants, and nobody will come serve you. You have to go in the kitchen and see the kitchen first, and then you can talk to the owners and the people, and they will show you what they can make for you. And that was a beautiful thing. You see the cleanliness of the kitchens, which, some kitchens, you don't see them as clean. You don't even want to go near the kitchen in some places. So yeah, it's very true what you say. And businesses are really an extension of ourselves, aren't we, as a solopreneur? It's not a separate entity. It is part of us, which we're projecting.
Yeah.
So, Charlotte, what would you like to add?
I think that it's looking at the energy signature of a business, but also it's looking, for example, at maybe the energy of the systems running in your business. It can be the team, so how coherent is that team energetically? What about the environment that your team works in? You need to look at the energy of that. And I have worked with individual entrepreneurs, but also with bigger businesses. And, so looking at all those systems in terms of energy is important. And also, interestingly, you were just saying about it being an extension. And to an extent, yes, it is. But actually, sometimes when you look at somebody's business and then you look at them, the energy signature is very different. So how are they going to align? Because if you think you're the same as your business, always think you're the same as your business, you might actually find that you're not aligning well enough. And then you wonder why your business is failing or flailing.
Yeah, that alignment is important, isn't it? And, I think that goes as much for the team as well. Are they in a line? Are they sending the same energy as the business is trying to project, shall we say?
Yes.
And, again, is that energy in alignment with the potential customers or the potential clientele and what they're looking for? Otherwise, they're not going to be attracted, are they?
Exactly. Absolutely.
So there's another interesting question that I noticed, which is, how does the mental energy shape the vision and future of a business? And should we continue with you, Charlotte? Because, you were just talking. Keep getting your voice warmed up.
Absolutely. Yes, the vocal cords are warm enough now. But I think that the mental energy that you need to bring to a business is absolutely fundamental. We know that the mental energy and the mental resilience that you have is really in part, it's in part of the brain called the hippocampus. So that hippocampus basically indexes your autobiographical memories. And so that's incredibly important in business, because if you can't remember back well to your successes, your failures, what worked for you in your business, what didn't work for you in your business, then you're going to continue making those same mistakes. So to me, the mental energy is incredibly important. It's also really that mental energy that comes from that area of the brain is also very important for being creative. So if it's not strong, then how are you going to have creative vision for your business? How are you going to expand it and adapt it to circumstances? So I think that, yes, the mental energy is incredibly important for business and totally fundamental.
And, you know, I think it's not only the energy for business, is it? It's the energy for our own personal life, which is important as well, because that plays a big part in how we show up for business or show up for clients or our team or whatever. So
yeah, and infuse our experience into our business, you know, which is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, our life experience.
Every experience, yeah, definitely. Do you have anything to add to that?
Who's going? Are you going, Nicol?
I don't mind. Anick, you go.
Well, what comes for me is the mindset, the mindset, the energetic of the mindset of the business owners or the people in the team, and it's really important to have a clear mind. So it comes down to health. It's the health of the business and the health of the people involved in the business, creating that business. So, you know, if the head is cluttered, it's like anything, you know, if you walk in your house and it's cluttered, it's full of junk, you can't breathe. It's the same thing with the mental space. It has to be clear and clean and spacious so that you can receive the download, the genius ideas, be the visionary and the business to know where you're heading and what you're creating. So you have a clear picture, and then you can just break it down to get to the, you know, the details, the bits and pieces that are needed to make the vision tangible.
Okay, great. What about Nicol?
Yeah, when you step into the mental, we're talking about the mind, and that can represent so much. And I think there's a part of the practical, which we have to be aware of what structures we're going to put in place. And then there's the mindset of health, you know, where are we focused and what are we creating? And there's also, especially in the sacred use space and the soulpreneurs, there's also the spiritual space of where we are and what we're hearing from our own self of where we want to go. And I think when we talk about the mental space of business, we have to be in the space where we want to be and that we're not being pushed and shoved by everything around us to be. And I think that's reflecting on what both Anick and Charlotte had added, that we have so much in our minds to do, that when we create a business, it has to be where we desire to be, and creating something that we love. So we're able to go forward and focus on it clearly, whether it be for, you know, mind, body or spirit, but we need to encourage all of those things to create a successful business.
So with what we've just been talking about, how do we get that message out to our potential customers, especially if we're online, rather than in a bricks and mortar thing?
Well, for me, it's definitely encouraging, and for myself and my clients, I encourage people to actually listen to their heart, listen to their intuition. What is it that they want to create? What gifts, talents, abilities, and life experiences can they bring into it? And is it something they truly want to create, or they've seen something, or they don't want to be somewhere. There's lots of things that we can do to be present, but to be present and focused in what we need to do, we need to love it. And we need to move away from all the shoulds, coulds and woulds, because we are very much always told that we need to do it. We need to do this, or we need to do it that way. And there's lots of people telling us that all these shoulds, coulds and woulds. And really, for us to love a business and be a part of a business, we need to learn to do business our way and from our own heart, and then step into how we're going to create it, what structures we're going to put in place, and how we show up. Because when we show up from a place of what we love or what we desire or what we want to create, then we do have and encourage engagement and people to be around us and encourage people to buy from us.
Yeah, and again, that goes down to the reason why we're doing this business, isn't it? If we're just doing it because we want money from people, that's not going to be an aligned energy to you know, the heart, if you like, of the business.
Especially with service businesses. Because we choose to serve above, I guess, receiving.
Yeah, I mean, the money is a byproduct of the service we're giving, isn't it?
I definitely agree.
Okay, great. So do you want to expand on that, and Anick or Charlotte? Or should we move on to a different question?
I mean, I totally agree with Nicol. I think it's, you know, it's important, obviously, to have an idea of what's going on in your industry and work area, but not to be pushed off course by the latest trend or, you know, what seems to be working at the moment. It may work for you, but maybe it's not in alignment with you and your mission and the way that you serve, in which case, you know, how do you keep that center, keep that balance to make sure that you don't sort of veer off and find that your business is going now in the wrong direction?
Yeah, and that's an important thing, that you know, something may work for Anick, but it won't work for me, because we're different individuals. We have a different thinking, we have a different energy signature, and that's something we've got to keep in mind and find, as you say, what's working for me or what will work for me, and then keep with that and flow with it rather than chop and change.
Yeah, but I'm inspired to say, expand on that it's really about knowing the self and knowing what we love. I mean, it comes down to an individual to be really in touch with our hearts, with our passions, with our natural gift and talents. And, you know, it's really being in tune with that. And then there's a lot of amazing tools, you know, there's human designs, gene keys, your astrology, your natal charts. I mean, there's so many tools that we have these days to tune in and to really do the self-inquiry before you're going to dive in and, you know, like invest all your time, energy and money into creating a business. It's really, you got to tune in and know who you are and what you're here to do in the world. Otherwise it's going to be a real struggle.
Well, that is a big question
against the current, you know. It's like if it's not natural for you and organic and really authentic and organic, you're gonna face some serious challenges, and you're gonna face challenges anyways. But you know, you may as well make it a bit smoother for you at the start by
I mean, if you're in line with yourself and you understand yourself, then the challenges are surmountable. But if you're out of alignment, the challenges are like a brick wall in front of you sometimes, aren't they?
That's it.
It's interesting because some people, for example, work very much from the base chakra, and maybe their motivation is money. I mean, it's still energy if they're enjoying it. You know, if they're enjoying just absolutely making money and it doesn't actually matter which way they're making it, then it's probably going to work for them. Whereas somebody else who is much more aligned, you know, with, you know, their higher chakras and really needs a spiritual content in what they do, then just to do things for making money is not going to work for them at all. So again, as you were saying, it's very much understanding who you are, what is your flow, how are you in flow, is incredibly important.
So where do we get that information from?
That's a very good point. Well, I mean, I think that a lot of people get it through meditation or through coming to people and, like business coaches, energetic coaches, and, them helping them sift through and work out what it is that, makes them tick and, what sort of path they should be taking. So sometimes, yes, you do need help, but I think if you meditate and walk in nature and bring yourself back into balance, do the basics right, make sure you're hydrated, eat well, then you're much more likely to be able to receive that information and understand yourself.
Yeah, and I think role models also play an important part as well, and our life journey, because for me personally, my life journey started off, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I left school and I wanted to work with electricity. That's all I knew. And now I'm in the coaching space, but it's taken me a long while to get there. But what I didn't realize was that whole journey was my MBA, my whatever, PhD in everything. So it's all been providing me with wisdom and knowledge that I didn't realize at the time I was learning. And it was only 10, 20 years ago when I first started teaching here, and I in China, and students asked me life questions, and then I started to answer them, and I saw them change and transform in front of me, and the smile coming from the heart. I said, "This is what I'm supposed to be doing." Not teaching English necessarily, but this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So it was a pathway that was revealed to me. And some people have a shorter journey, some people have a longer journey. But again, it is that understanding of what we're here to do, which is so crucial, isn't it, in the energy sphere, should we say? So here's an interesting thing, that if we find that the energy is out of alignment in our business, how is it that we can bring it back into alignment, or should we abandon it and start something else?
Oh gosh, no. But of course, and I'm not saying stepping away isn't an answer for people, because sometimes it is the correct answer, that that people begin a business and they step into it and it's not for them. And that's a perfectly okay answer as well, because I think that's what we come up to. We come up with expectations of ourselves, and that we also create expectations from other people's stories of who and what we're meant to be in, and what we're meant to be sharing with people. And I think to take the step back when you're in that place of not knowing what to do, and you want to realign yourself and step back into the energy that you want to share. And it is just about stepping back and creating space for you. And that space could be, as Charlotte mentioned, meditation. It could be for other people walking. For me, it is listening to a nice book. It's just completely removing myself so I can create space and just ask myself, is what is happening to me true? Is it the truth? And I ask my intuition, I ask my guides of, is that true? And I wait for the answer, because the most obvious answer usually is the best answer for me. So I just create that circle, step into it and state what's going on and ask, is it true? Is the first thing that I go to.
And sometimes we know that, or we feel that we know that, but circumstances or family or friends won't allow us to go on that pathway, because they've got their own predetermined design, if you like, on what our life should be like. And that's a very, very difficult thing to navigate, is it not?
I love that statement. My answer is no. I don't believe it is, because if we need to be able to serve other people, we do need to be able to serve ourselves and fill our own cup up. And if your cup, part of filling that up is creating a business, then you need to support yourself in that. And if it is true to you, then the people around you will see how important that is to you, or not. And that's the thing, you may have started a business and may not have wanted it. Sorry.
Because culture can play a big part in that. I mean, I was on a plane from the mainland of China to Hong Kong, and the lady sitting next to me in her mid-30s, she'd just been on a business trip and she hated her work. She was a financial accountant or something, and she wanted to start a soap manufacturing business, but her family would not let her because her security in the current role was their pension, and they would not let her break free. They did everything they could.
And unfortunately, that does come down to the choice of what your heart desires. And sometimes it is, and it's okay for her if that is her choice to do that. But we do have the choice to be able to create or not create of what we want. And allowing ourselves to step in that and just discover what that could mean for us. You know, it may not be supported. Not everything we do will be supported by everybody, unfortunately. And that's and I work from heart-based thing, but I do work from that I am a sovereign person who has the power to create what I want, and very much from my intuition. And especially in business, if you're stepping into business, you've created a strength or courage to do so. And we're talking about when we're in the business energetic. So I'm assuming that the people who are in the business energetics have taken that step, because I think the wider discussion of going against, I actually wouldn't like to comment on going against cultures or anything like that, because it is a personal choice between each person, and especially that lovely lady who you sat next to, it's such a wider discussion than just including business energetics. She was what she's actually been through in her life, and the consequences and all of that. So I think that would be a larger discussion than, you know, do you just drop everything? But I believe everybody has choice, and they are able to create a business if they see.
I think the key is to get people to understand that we always have that choice, and then have someone who's an independent person who can just be there for them to let her bounce ideas off, but not say you must do this or you must do that, because that's not our place, is it? It's about guiding people and picking up on where their energy is, isn't it?
But yeah, I believe so. But I think that's a life choice as well. That when that lady was really in a very important time and place in her life.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an example. So I mean, obviously, it's not part of this detailed discussion, but it's just an example of how culture can affect us and throw our energy off sometimes. So
actually,
what about?
I used to work in Japan quite a lot, and I found that the Japanese, particularly in the past, found it very difficult to say no. So their solar plexus energy was not always robust enough for them to stand up and say what they wanted, or, you know, progress with what they wanted. And so they would know what they wanted, they just couldn't get there. They found it very difficult. So what we did was work with their boundaries. So work to strengthen them, keep their heart open, strengthen the boundaries. And I would go, before COVID, I went 3 times, 4 times a year sometimes to work. And I might see somebody, a client, and then I might see them a year later, for example. And you could see the difference. You know, they were now starting to be able to say, look, hang on, you know, actually, I would like to do this. And sometimes it was a slow progress and sometimes it was faster. But I think we just support people within cultures to change in the way they can. And yes, every culture is completely different, of course.
Yeah, we have to understand the culture, don't we?
Yes, very much. Yeah.
Anick, do you have anything to add in this respect?
Well, I guess without wanting to be judgy here, it is like the Asian culture, the Japanese in particular, it's often like being polite, but being polite, being people pleaser. It's the
Mhm.
people pleaser that we all have inside of our psyche, that we're not, when we're not really following what is true for us. And I think when you're gonna go and create an empire, create a business, and really follow your passion, you're gonna have to really let go of all the all these resistance, all these parts of us, the perfectionist and the people pleaser and the prostitutes and all these archetypes, these energies that might be creating a lot of resistance. There's no space for that. You've got to be in your spiritual warrior and forget the culture, forget the family, forget all of this. When it's like, it's about being on a mission. It's like we're not talking about a business. I mean, I'm talking about spiritual business. A spiritual business is like it's a calling. You were born to lead from the heart and to create a movement through your own self-expression, and to invite your tribe, your community to co-create that that new way of being, that new way of thinking, that new way of acting in the world, to raise consciousness. Oh, here she's, Anick, she's on a roll, like she's getting excited. But this is like, there's no more space. You know what I'm saying? All these resistance, whether cultures, family, fears, you know, they will interfere. But once you in the embodiment of the truth of who you truly here to be, do, and create, all of the rest has to be dissolved. They can't be the part, you know what I mean? You can love them, but they're not running the show. You know?
Yeah,
Am I making sense? Yeah, I do.
that's
The
a very
ladies are looking at me, they're like, yeah, they get
and
it.
that comes back to choice, doesn't it? That you choose not to allow them to run the show.
It comes back to choice. It comes, and you have to be strong, because there will be a lot of you'll be pulled here and there, even by your own selves, within your own mind and your own heart. You'll have some resistance. But you know what I mean? Like, I actually left my country to be myself. Do you know what I mean? I left. I'm French Canadian. Mind you, I hate the cold weather. I love the snow for 2 weeks of 2 weeks in the year, not for 8 months, freezing my ass. So I actually, but deeper than that is like, I didn't feel safe enough to be myself in my own lineage, in my own family. So I went on the other side of the planet to find myself and to be myself. Do you know what I mean? To be able to say, listen, I'm here to heal this lineage, to create a business of healing, of empowerment, of uplifting, of consciousness, and nothing's going to stop me. So I'll do it in the tropic. You see, I'm in the jungle here.
Anick, I love what you're saying there, because it's whether you are leaving a culture, or we create so many things inside ourselves of resistance. And I do think that it comes back to choice, but it also comes back to I'm speaking as a woman here to fellow other women, that we have this courage and strength inside us, that we do choose to represent what our heart loves. And in saying that, we don't always have to leave our business or leave what we're doing to create a business to bring our hearts to the world either. So coming back to culturally, that lovely lady, there may be another way that she can have it all by bringing her heart and what she wants to change the world with as well.
And I think, again, it becomes what we recognize as what we need to do to grow into ourselves as we see ourselves, isn't it? And I think one of the things which is important is to recognize when we're being dragged off, and either being able individually, or to have a safe or nurturing support structure behind us that we can work with and talk to without being pushed in any direction, so we can make our choices and go the direction we think is best for us.
Yeah, and look, sometimes we don't have that behind us, and Anick probably didn't have a community that she was going to use her example, but she had the courage and strength to go towards what her heart wanted. And sometimes it doesn't have to be big leaps or little leaps. It's just by choosing what you want and choosing what you have available at your time. And it doesn't have to be comfortable. If we wait for everything to be comfortable and safe, sometimes we'll never do it either. So it's sometimes it's
if
just
we wait for safety, that's never going to happen, is it?
yeah, and sometimes it's just making the choice and the courage to move forward and believing that what you need will be there when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're enough. I think it's also that you're enough with your imperfections and all. You're enough to move forward without anything else.
Well, that is a very, very important thing, and we're not taught that as a young age in many cases, that we are enough, are we? So that can be a very big limitation in our growth. Charlotte, do you want to?
Got everything wrong with us.
Yeah.
Or you've got to fear.
Charlotte, do you want to add anything to that, or shall I fire another question from?
I think you can fire another question. That would be great.
So, techniques. What techniques can we use to enhance our spiritual energy awareness, but specifically in the business side? Is there any particular technique, or?
I think there are a gamut of techniques, and it depends what suits you, you know, so
how do we find out what suits us?
Well, I think that's where sometimes it comes to the support, you know, so, you know, if you want to seek advice from people who are experienced in that area, like you were saying earlier about having role models, business role models, for example, spend time with people who are doing the sort of things you want to do and are successful in that area. Go to a business coach, and they will give you support, and they will also help to hone the technique that will suit you, because we all need different things. We will require different things. I think there are some basics. Yes, there, you know, like meditation, there's energetic exercises, there's many things that you can do, but I think that it's nice if it's tailored to you.
Yeah, and what I liked, I think it was Napoleon Hill, he had a virtual mastermind every night for a long, long time, where he said, okay, Benjamin Franklin, I want you to be part of this, and this is what I respect about you, and this is what I want you to give me. It doesn't have to be a living person, this role model, but it's picking up on the bits and pieces of things that stand out to you. I mean, for me, one of my biggest role models was Jim Rohn, and I was lucky enough to see him in South Africa when I was living in South Africa live, and he just captivated me. But I never had a conversation with him. I was just part of the audience, as we say. But his energy really did impact me in so many, many ways, much more so than, say, Tony Robbins. I mean, he, you know, everybody has an energy which we can either connect to or not connect to, and we're either intentionally seek them out, or they will just appear in our life at that right time, won't they?
Yes, and also the information will be given to us at the right time. You know, one other way of doing it is, if you have a question and you don't know the answer to it, maybe before you're going to sleep, or, you know, just literally prior to going to sleep, think about the question. Think about it and ask it, and even better, just as you're on the brink of sleep, you're just falling into it, and then obviously you let it go, and it will probably either turn up in a dream, or maybe you'll wake up in the morning with the answer, or, as you say, you might suddenly look through a magazine and think, oh gosh, there it is. So the answer will come in some form. So that's a way that you can personally use your higher self, your intuition, your guides, to actually give you the answer that you would like to receive.
And I think trust in the answers is true, isn't it, as well?
Yes, that's true too.
Anick, you were going to say something?
My tongue is burning. I need to talk. Yeah,
go for it.
I really resonate with what you're saying, Charlotte. There's two things here that I think what a component that's really important about the energetic, the technique for to keep a healthy energetic of your business is, and it's applicable in a big organization or a small organization, it's the same thing. But one component is to really be surrounded, like it's good to, watch YouTube and have, read books, all that. But the accountability and being part of a mastermind of a community and have people around who can bounce back and see you, like being your mirrors, like being really with a community of soul-minded, of like-minded, of people who see you, believe in you. They want your success as much as their success. To be in that, surrounded by that positive, loving, caring, high consciousness energy is really helping you to thrive and to move past the blocks and the constipated beliefs and the challenges and the walls that you're going to hit. So that's a really important. Like, I've got an amazing conscious spiritual community. I've put a lot of time and energy in building that. And I know amazing humans, and I know, like, I had a near-death experience 6-7 years ago, and that what saved my life is the love and the compassion, the help that I receive from my community. And I mean, this is really a big part, to belong to a really good, having a good nest of bees, like the bees, a bunch of bees together. That's one thing that I want to speak on too. And you're not alone. You're not a wolf woman. Sometimes I feel like a wolf woman. This the weird one in the weird one in Australia with a French accent is doing this weird this woo-woo work. And the other thing is, as Charlotte was just to reinforce what Charlotte was saying, is there's a whole bunch of techniques, and the one that works for you, your intuition, to, like, every day I do energy work every day on myself. It's a daily, and it's not just once a day, it's like 3 times a day. Before this call, I went to the ocean. That was my dream. I live next to the ocean. I love the ocean. I'm a fan. That really works for my body, for my soul, for my heart. That works for me. So I walked down to the ocean and I tuned into the questions. I had the questions. I tuned in a couple of days ago with the questions, and I tuned in again. And I talked to the ocean, to the universe, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be, just to really be in that energy, to say, listen, God or universe, speak through me, make me a vessel to share the wisdom and the energy that needs to be communicated in this panel, so that's energy. That's one way, that's one tool that I'm sharing with you that works for me. But become aware of the techniques or the tools, the energy that works for you. But energy works is essential when you're a business owner, when you're a CEO of a business. You need to do the inner work, the energy work. It's essential, and find the tools, the techniques, the practices that are resonating with your own body, with your own soul, with your own self, so yeah. I
think it's also very important to clear, because you can want to manifest something and it's just not coming, and you need to look at your limiting beliefs and the programs that you maybe picked up when you were young, or maybe they've come through your ancestry. What about your emotions? Are your emotions keeping you in a part of the brain that doesn't allow you to be, have that executive function of the brain working well? So it's really important to look at your thoughts and things and clear. So I think with both personally as an entrepreneur who has a business, but also the business itself, it constantly needs clearing. It's like you have a shower every day, but do you clear your emotions? Do you clear your thoughts? Do you look at your programming and clear those things as well?
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful, Charlotte, because I do believe that you've got to have a wind-up process and a wind-down process to nurture yourself and the business is an energy that does need to be nurtured and nourished. We don't just need to take care of it, but we need to nourish it. And I think we'd all agree that creating a business, whether you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, business creator, whatever you call yourself, I think entering a business can be one of the biggest personal growth acts that you can take, because it does take a lot from us personally to create a business, especially when it is something that we have our heart attached to. For me, as I said, I draw a circle and I go to my guides myself and ask the question, is this true for me? And I suggest that people do that for even the tools that they want to use. And you don't actually have to, like, I loved how Charlotte before was explaining the different chakras of where people are based from and what they're going to create. Like, that's something you can introduce into your business. Or for me, that I use intuition, but I also use meditation. I also use, walking to the beach. It doesn't actually have to be a stream of tools. You can actually listen and incorporate everything from, and take the little bits that work for you, or take none of it and go, that was really enjoyable, and I can see what I don't want, so I'm not going to work from there, which is, it's an awesome space. But as entrepreneurs, we do need to nurture ourselves, and I think for me, it's something that it needs to be true to me, what we're doing and the tools we use. We talked about role models. I have a super conscious intuition role model, which some of you may know. And then at the moment, I'm working with an amazing structural Australian businesswoman as well. So the two worlds of executive thinking and spiritual thinking come and work together, which helps move forward as well, and helps me with my clients, help them move forward, to give them intuitive structures and practical structures that they can work together and show up as they want to show up. And a community is everything, Anick. And I think being part of so many communities is really important. That's why I love the Sacred You community, because they give so much to everybody, and they give such a variety that it's not like, oh, you have to do this or you have to do this. It's like, here's the gamut of so many people's expertise, and invite you in. So I love it. Look, community is my business. I'm part of many communities that are actually a main part of who I am. So I think what everyone has said is true, and I hope that the people listening, take a little bit from all of us and find what's true to them, and really just connect with their hearts.
Yeah, and it is about that connection, isn't it? An understanding for yourself. I mean, for instance, part of my rituals is this background I've got. It's the local scenery, and it's a very, very beautiful place, very peaceful, but very energetic. And even if I'm looking at different parts of the Zoom window, my peripheral vision still sees the mountains. And, for instance, this mountain here, I call this one Tooth Mountain because it looks like a molar tooth. And you can see it when you're driving around from a long way off. And there's just something very, very, for me anyway, personal about the scenery, but also nature itself. And in my mind, I can also see Southern Africa, the game reserves, and there's a particular clearing that is always there with an impala in, and that is one of my guides. And it just becomes more and more clear, and it helps me to stay aligned in so many different ways. So it is about understanding for ourselves what is important, from an energetic alignment point of view. And no two people are the same. That's the beauty, isn't it?
And it certainly does look very serene, I must say.
It's stunning. This whole area is just, yeah. I mean, I'm so lucky to be in this area, and make the most of it, as they say. So, we're getting towards the end of the time. So here's a question about advice. I mean, how can we create a business, if we're starting out, that nurtures a positive energy and create that in an environment? I mean, for instance, if I was starting out on a business today, what advice would you give me to say to create that alignment and to look after myself, shall we say? Who wants to have first dive at that one?
I think we've covered, we've answered that questions.
We've answered it, but maybe we can just summarize the answers.
We've answered that question. It's well, it comes down, like, as a recap, to first of all to really listen, be in tune, and know what are you here to create, what you're here for, and what your heart's desire to express, to share in the world. And secondly, well, which is going to be ongoing, is to nourish the self, and really take care of your own body, mindset, emotions, your whole machinery, to take care of that, and influence your people, if you have a team, to take care of themselves as well, and to take care of the team. Make sure that we are on the same page and we're walking towards the same target. We have a focus, we're going in the same direction, we share the same values, we work as a team. And then do the clearing, as Charlotte was saying, have your showers, or do every now and again. Make sure that, if you're not moving forward, or if you're not getting the results, the outcomes that you desire to create, to manifest, to have in your business, then it's required, you require a clearing, a cleaning, and of your beliefs or habits or behaviors that are not serving and taking you towards your goals, your intentions, your dream, your vision. And I think that, have I covered it all?
I would say, in the words of Nikola Tesla, if you wish to understand the universe, then think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So if you want a business that is going to be profitable, efficient, but also, to have a great harmonious work environment where your employees, for example, if you're not a lone entrepreneur, actually work coherently together, synergistically, so that you actually find that you enjoy working. Everybody enjoys working, as well as making money. Then I think you need to look in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration.
Okay, great. Nicole?
For me, I have a few things. Find a tribe. Find a tribe of people that you resonate, that can support you, because there are lots of people out there who want to create that connection with you, and you can support each other, and that can be free and paid. The next thing I encourage you to is to invest in yourself. That means time, money, energy, all of it. Take the time to put yourself first, because you are the person who's running the ship, and somebody who's not taking care of themselves isn't putting good energy out there, or isn't nurturing it, and doesn't have the capabilities to nurture and nourish a business that creates service for other people, either through service or products. And the other thing that I said, Jess, and I sign off to everyone, is that your heart isn't negotiable. Your heart's desires aren't negotiable. Don't make them negotiable. If you want to create a business that you love, create the business that you love, not what everybody else is telling you. If you don't want to have a business, that's fine too. You still can change the world from exactly where you're at, because you're perfectly where you're at the right time. Okay,
that's great. Great advice to everybody. So thank you so much. And we've got about a minute or so left. So, just let's start with Charlotte. How can people get in touch with you if they want to know more?
Okay, so they can get in touch with me at consummatehealth.com. and just send me a message and we can look at working together. As I said, I am a herbalist, but I'm also an energy healer. I also have products as well. And of course, products are energy. They're all vibrations. So I have my herbal tea blends and essential oil blends, which all help with business efficiency. And also decrease stress, which of course we know is incredibly important when you're in business. Keep your stress levels low, and also meditations and things as well. So yes, please contact me, consummatehealth.com.
Okay, thank you. And Anick?
By the way, I learned a
Sorry.
word, Charlotte, of winding down. You know, you wind up your business and wind down. So I think your products would be awesome to create habits in that fact as well. That's really cool. Sorry, Anick.
I'm just very surprised. We haven't talked a lot about money, the money, energy in business. It's just, I just find it very interesting that the money topic didn't come much in the conversation. Well, I'm Unique Anick. My name is Anick Patry. I'm sure you guys are going to put some links under this video. I guess the best way to find me is Linktree, on Linktree. I'm on YouTube, on TikTok, so I share a lot of awesome videos, Facebook, very active on the Facebook platform, Instagram, but Linktree combines everything. So I go on my Linktree, on my link, and I'll book a call with me on Calendly. My link is there. If you resonate, I'd love to connect with you. And it's been such a nourishing and elevating conversations, just the way I like it. Thank you so much for all of you for watching, and all of you in the panel, beautiful souls, so much wisdom and incredible shares. So thank you.
Nicol?
Yeah, you can find me on Be Into It Business, and I have checked the links that are in under the video on Facebook. So I'd love you to connect. Message me with any questions. I love helping people find what they love. I've also popped in there my free email challenge that you can do whenever you like. And it is just about connecting with who you want to be in your business and how you want to show up, and just to be wholly and solely who you are and what your heart desires.
Yeah, and I'm honored to be asked to step in and co-host this or host this platform, and it's been a very, very insightful hour. It's gone very, very quickly. We could continue for a lot longer, but definitely reach out to either of these or all of these three ladies and get some more wisdom from them, because they are special people and they have a lot to share. And I've learned a lot from you, so thank you so much.
Thank you for hosting it.
Thank you. Awesome to meet you all. So much
Okay,
fun. Thank you.
I don't know if Sophie's going to be able to switch off the live streaming, or we just end the meeting.